Okay, girl, this is like the 8th millionth time that we've done this. Like, no joke. So, what's up, guys? It's Audey. It's been like, I want to say like 4 months, but that's okay. You know, it's been like 4 months, but that's okay. So, I have a reason. That's the whole point of this video. I wanted to do a post-grad type of like life update, like the part 2 to the original one, and tell you guys what's been going on with me. So the main reason why I went MIA was because I got a job. Yay! So I graduated in December, like I said in the first life update, and I told you guys I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like I decided that I was gonna graduate in December last June. Like, I had finally taken calculus and I was like, this pre-med life ain't for me. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna do this no more. And I just felt like God wasn't really gracing me like in pre-med. Like, I felt like I was doing okay, like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, I had a B in Orgo and stuff like that, but it was like I was like fighting to like do good in like pre-med. It was like so hard. Like, I couldn't find no one to shadow. I couldn't find no place to volunteer. It was just like, you know, like when you just feel like you're not getting graced or whatever, and it's becoming like this long uphill battle. That's how I felt. So I was just like, you know what? Fine. I'm just gonna go back to Mass Comm. You know, because I was getting so much favor in Mass Comm. I was getting scholarships like that I put so much little effort in the essay stuff and for, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like God was just gracing me in Mass Comm, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna graduate. So like I said before, I did like 2 internships my last semester, and one was at a production company, and another one was at a wedding photography company. So I did both of them. You know, I showed up, never skipped a day, did my best to come on time and stuff like that. And they both were just like, okay, well, bye. Like, they're like, see you soon. And I don't know, I was like, you know, it was just weird because I was just like, okay, well dang, you know, like, okay. So I graduated and I started applying. I started looking everywhere, and it was kind of depressing. I'm not even gonna sit there and lie. It was really, really depressing. I thought I was mentally prepared to be going from undergrad to underemployed, you know, unemployed. I thought I was ready to go from undergrad to unemployed, but y'all, that mess was hard. So basically, I just graduated and then I went home. Well, not for good, because remember I graduated in December. So I went home for like winter break. I went home, and I went home for like 2 weeks, I want to say, or whatever. And then I left like around the 7th of January, and I came back. And I came back and I was doing like nothing. Like, I was just staying at home like the whole day, like just chilling. And I was applying all these places, and the first job that I ended up getting, like, I was like, this can't be post-grad life. Like, this just can't. It was basically a marketing firm, but it wasn't like your traditional marketing, if that makes any sense. It was basically them selling stuff at Sam's Club and calling it a marketing firm. That's not an event. You know what I'm like? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like oh my gosh, like, here's a YouTuber event where there's gonna be a panel and stuff like that. You know, that's in my opinion marketing and PR, rather than, you know, you setting up. Well, I guess it is marketing. And they were trying to pay me like minimum wage, like $8.05, like $8 an hour and 5 cents. So this was within my first week of graduating, and y'all, I was just like, okay. I was like, alrighty then. So I said, you know what, sure, I'll accept, and I'll start in the next year, you know, because this was December. I was like, I'll start next year. All the while I was like, Lord, help me get another job, because this ain't it. You know, because it was hard for me because it was like, Lord, give me a job, Lord, give me a job, Lord, give me a job. And no, this job wasn't it. So then I kept applying or whatever, and I ended up on Craigslist. I don't even remember why I was on Craigslist. I just looked casually on Craigslist because from this point, I was mainly doing my job searching and applying on LinkedIn. Like, that was the majority. I want to say like a good 80% of where I was searching was through LinkedIn. It was just hard because every place that I was either getting a call back from or interviewing for, it was like it was obviously an entry-level position, but it wasn't me necessarily using my mass comm degree. So ironically, in December, I want to say a week after that job, I ended up applying on Craigslist for this thing. It was like so vague. It was like, oh, storyteller, like a video storyteller or whatever. So I was like, okay, could you tell me more or whatever? And it ended up being the job that I have now. And basically, I am a digital producer. That's my official role. I'm a digital producer. But to make it like more common, basically I am a social media journalist. But basically I do we run a lot of the social media, and it's me and another one, and I almost said her name. And we also like do stories. So I'm basically a social media journalist, and basically we're kind of like this new startup company that's backed by a bigger company. So it's not like, you know, I'm just out there. It's backed by a bigger company, and we're trying to think of a new way to put news out there, but not on like 6 p.m. or something like that, you know, digitally through Snapchat, Facebook, and stuff like that. So I was on social media, I just wasn't on my social media, you know, like I was on the Facebook page and the Snapchat page and all that extra stuff for them. So it was a long process. I applied in December and I started in March. I interviewed all the way up until January, like I want to say the middle of January. And then January was when they offered me the job. And then after that, I had to go through corporate and HR, and that took about another month. So I was set to start at the end of February. But the other issue was now I had to figure out a way to sublease my old apartment, find an apartment in Tampa, not in Tampa. I moved to Fort Myers, find an apartment in Fort Myers, and get my life. And I had 2 weeks to do it. All in all, I didn't move in 2 weeks. I moved in about 3.5. Finally, when I did, I moved. And I got exactly what I wanted. I got a 2-2 townhome. And they was giving me all types of help. Like, I ain't even gonna sit here and lie. They was giving me all types of nonsense. So I have good credit. I have pretty bomb credit. That's another video that I'm gonna make later. The credit was my problem. I have credit in the high 700s. My goal is like 800 by the end of this year, because it's hard to get in 800s. I'm in the high 700s, and it wasn't credit that was the issue. It was the fact that I had no pay stubs. I did it through a realtor company. So basically someone bought this townhome, customized it, and then sent it through a realtor company to put on the market and sell. So I had to go through them. And the real realtor that I had, like who I go through now, was on vacation. And the person that she had covering for her, girl, Lord be with her, she was getting on my nerves. I'm not even gonna sit down lie. She was getting on my nerves. And it just seemed like every single time I would move forward and go on a new step, something else blew up. And I was like, it was hard because, you know, like, it kind of just like, I feel like God was really like stretching my faith. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and like make it sound really sweet and whatnot. I just really felt like God was like stretching my faith and showing me, you don't really trust me like you say you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna show you what real trust is. I'm gonna show you what real faith is. And I was miserable. I was miserable because it was kind of just like I had some answered prayers, and it was kind of like I was like begging God for bread. Like, can you answer my next one? You know, can I get a job? Okay, all right, maybe. You know, because hearing from corporate was so long, and then I finally got the offer, and it's just like, okay, can I get an apartment? I could not afford majority of the apartments out here. You know, so don't make it seem like I'm some baller or whatever. I could not afford majority of the apartments out here, and that's why I was fussing so hard for this, because like when I tell you God is so good, I said from last year when I was a junior, I was looking for a townhome, and I wanted a townhome that had an upstairs and a downstairs. I probably figured let that dream go when I graduate, because I like to live by yourself is very, very expensive. So I would say if you can afford it, it makes more sense to get a 2, because they're generally cheaper in my, like, I don't know, in my head it makes more sense. Like, people see that a studio apartment or a 1-1 like is usually wanted. People want to be by themselves, so they're usually going to be priced really, really high. When I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's way below market. And I think the reason why a lot of people weren't nipping at it, because they ended up cutting the price right before I ended up looking at it, was that their pictures were so bad. So I wasn't even really gonna, like, when I tell you God had my back, I wasn't even really gonna look at this apartment. I had a list of all the apartments that I was gonna look at. I was gonna drive down to Fort Myers, get a feel for it, look at all the stuff, and then drive back to Tampa. And I left my list at home. So the first one I looked at, I was like, oh baby, no. Like, I didn't even care if it was in my budget. I was like, no. And then I ended up like, okay, well, there was this one place that I said I was gonna look at, because I left my list in Tampa. I didn't put on my phone like a dummy. And I was like, okay. So I came. I was nervous, like, you know, like going to a different place, and like, you know, like I didn't walk through with a realtor like I did at the other place. It was like a tenant turner. Some people know what that is, where like they just have like this huge lockbox on the door, and then, you know, when you get there, they'll text you the code, and then you'll open the key. You'll take the key out the box and look through yourself, which I love. So I looked through it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is better than some of the, like, you know, like the official apartments that I've been seeing, where like you're part of like a whole like apartment complex. And this is literally like a townhome where I don't have to hear someone stomping above me. Like, the first floor and the second floor is mine. It has like a pretty big kitchen. It's not perfect, like, don't get me wrong, but I love this place for my first apartment. Like, I feel like I could stay here for like a good amount of time, like a good amount of time. And I was like, okay, this is what I want. So by the time I left here, it was like 5 or 6 p.m. So I couldn't necessarily turn in a physical application. Girl, it was giving me so much hell. So I did the application, and I had to turn it in through Dropbox. And then to pay the money, I had to drive back down the 2.5 hours to come here. And it was freaking me out, because I knew don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I was like, Lord, I love this place. Like, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying? And girl, long story short, it took me 3.5 weeks, but I ended up having to reapply. It took them 2 weeks to basically deny me. And it was because I had no pay stubs, and the fact that my job, they didn't want my offer letter, because my job is a startup, even though we're backed by a company that's been here for years. Like, girl, like over 30 years, like even more than that. So I had to do it with my mom. And then like the day before my new start date, they let me come in. And I have been, y'all, God has been gracing me. It's not even funny. This couch that I got, like my whole living room, I'll probably do like a room, home tour, I don't know when. Within the month, I hope, because my bed is coming. I have a mattress, but I have no bed. So my bed is coming on Tuesday. So all I really need to buy left is a dresser, 2 nightstands, and like I think that's all like the real furniture I need. This was free. This couch was free. Like this couch, the lounge chair, the dining table, the table that you're gonna see, like my whole living room was basically free. Like God was like, when I tell you God has been like having my back every single time, I was just like, where are you? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to do this post update. I love my job. I could wear whatever I want. So if you guys see me in the vlogs wearing like a beanie on my head and like just going to work real casual, it's because my job is casual. You know, like it's really modern. And it's like I'm working at an advertising agency, you know, like it's not like stuffy and stuff like that. There's even beer in the fridge for us to drink. I don't drink beer, but you know, it just shows how casual it is. So my hope is that I do a video every week, every Saturday or whatever, so that I can be a little bit more consistent. I'm nasally, I don't know why. Vlog and then just do whatever is like on my heart. But don't crucify me, you know. So I just wanted to do an update. Guys, I have graduated. I have a full-time job. I have my own place. Y'all, I'm adulting. I am no man, but you know. But you know, I'm adulting. I'm getting my life together. I'm proud. Like, I'm really honestly so thankful to God, and I'm proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I am a girl boss, you know, and I can't wait to see where I'm gonna be in like 5 years from now or even 2 years from now. You know, like I'm 22, have my own place, like I can afford to pay my rent, take care of my dog, you know, like I'm buying furniture. Y'all, it's been a struggle. I've been moving furniture by myself, like this whole living room. I know you can only see this, but this whole living room, if I bought a mattress, I've been taking the U-Haul, driving the U-Haul, like move everything by myself. I feel like God is like really stretching me and showing me like, hey, you don't need to depend on a man, or, you know, you don't need to depend on anybody, man in and of itself, you know, to satisfy you and to feed you. I literally will feed you, and it won't be on your time, I promise you. But you will get everything that you need. And the fact that I got this whole living room for free, like, says it. Basically what ended up happening was I was looking for furniture on Craigslist, and I saw this furniture, and I was like, oh my God. And she was trying to sell the living room for like $200, and I was just like, how about $125? And she was like, sure. And I had spent so much money the week before just on food and all that extra nonsense. So I emailed her back, and I was like, oh, never mind, I don't have enough money for, I was like, never mind. I wasn't like checking my finances or whatever, because I still had to factor in the U-Haul. And she was like, okay, thank you. The next day, she was like, do you want it for free? I was like, do I want it for free? Like, okay. And I ended up getting it. So like stuff like that, like God is so good. Like, golly, like I'm so thankful, you know, like I'm not even trying to be extra or whatever. Like, I'm just truly so thankful. So that is my post-grad update. I'm 22. I moved to a new city. I have a new job. Quinn is fine. He's over there somewhere being aggy. And I just want to be a testament that like God is faithful. Like, don't think that God doesn't have your best interest in heart because it's not going the time that you want. You know what I'm saying? I never accepted that job position, the first one, because I was just like, no, I deserve better. You know, God is just so faithful. So if you're going through something right now, I know for me, my gap wasn't too long. You know, like now that I'm thinking about it, I graduated in December, and I was already talking to my employer. I just didn't know it yet. 2 weeks after I graduated, you know, a week or two after I had graduated, I was already talking to my future employer, and I got hired in January. So that's really a month. and then I started in March because of all the nonsense. If yours takes long, God is doing something with that. You know, like, don't worry about it. Like, I feel like I have like a newfound faith in what God can do, and if you pray specific prayers, you don't know how I prayed about the specifics of this townhome, and I really thought that I was being selfish, but God, like, golly, God did it. Like, he did it, and he didn't do it the way that I wanted to, not by, you know, giving me this immense salary and all this extra stuff. Like, he did it by showing me that this is the only thing you can do. I have like one of the cheapest, biggest places I've ever like seen looking around. So I just want to say thank you guys for still watching and subscribing. Like, people have still been subscribing. I don't know why. It's been like 4 months, but I'm still here. I should be getting the groove of it now, doing more videos. I did a vlog, so I don't know if it's boring or not. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna start over today. I'm gonna start the second one today. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, let me know where you are, like, in your schooling. I'm pro school. And feel free to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram. I'm more like on Snapchat, to just be honest. And yeah, all right, bye guys.